Welcome to today's episode of the Ancient Master Podcast, where the fusion of wisdom and innovation leads you on a transformative journey of self-discovery and empowerment.
How long do we know each other?
I was in Zavo Stream 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
2019.
December 2019.
Yeah, going for 5 years now that I know you.
Yeah, it's been forever.
It's been a journey for you, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me, where did you decide to become a life coach?
I think I always knew that I want to help people. I've always been passionate about that, and I always wanted to. I think I relate when someone is telling me their story. I find it easy to relate to what they're telling me, and I think I feel a lot. And my first instinct is I want to make sure that you're okay, and how do I assist. And I saw even in the things that I'm interested in, I've always been interested in psychology and just understanding how people think and how they function and why they are the way they are. So I think from then, that's how I realized that initially I wanted to do psychology. And then there was a friend of mine, she told me it takes a long time and so on. After you get your degree, you still have to do this. And in my mind, I just felt like this is too much, but I think I should have. I think I should have just went and done it. And then only after seeing you in Zavo Stream, that's when I was like, oh, I can do this. And I started searching more into it. And I got dismissed as well based on my mental illness. So I was like, okay, then I can take this route. I think it was just working out in that way, that it was leading me up to there. So when I got out of Zavo Stream, that's when I decided, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to do life coaching. And I remember I got in touch with you.
Yeah, that was in 2019, right?
I think it was 2020.
2020.
Yeah, it was the following year. So I got in touch with you. So it made me, I felt like it put me, I believe actually, it put me in a position where it was gonna make it even easier for me to relate to people who are going through issues of mental illness, even people who do not have actual mental illness but daily stresses of life. I think it qualified me in that sense to be able to understand better and to be a compassionate person and to understand where they're coming from. So for me it was like, okay, I can use it for that as well. It's not just something that's negative. I can use it in that sense. So it was sort of coming together, even though it's not a pleasant thing to have, but yeah, that's how I took it.
So your own experience of your own struggle with mental health was actually then your inspiration that stirred you.
Yes, 100%. That's exactly how it was. Still is, even now.
And how would you say today, being a life coach, has it been helping you? The fact that you also have your own challenges, your personal challenges, how has that been helping you and actually enabling you to help the client?
It's tough. It has been helping me, but it's tough in a sense, like you said, despite my own challenges. So it's like on days where it's really tough, I have to push through, and sometimes it's hard, but because I put this responsibility on myself and I understand what people are going through as well, and I need to be there for certain people. So it sort of helped me in a sense that it pushes me to push harder to fight these challenges. But it's not easy at all. I think it makes it even more challenging because now you put something else as your responsibility, So, and honestly, it also I think it also makes the business a bit not as let me say slow, because you're also dealing with your own thing. So it didn't grow as quick, not quick, but as at the pace that I thought it would grow. But that's because I'm also dealing with my own things. But I embrace it. It's my journey.
Because the idea that many people have in their mind is that someone who coaches, someone who counsels, they must have a kind of a perfect life. And so we tend to put these people on pedestals. And then when these people approach their clients, they approach it in a kind of a professional way without them knowing what's really going on.
Exactly. That's literally what happens. And I see that even in hospitals. My experience when I go see some psychiatrists and whatnot, and I realized that it also lacks that human side. Yes, be professional, but I also, for someone who has a mental illness, I want to feel like I'm talking to a human being, someone who also goes through problems. Not that the doctor must be crying with me and whatnot, but you want to see that this person really also can relate to a certain extent, and they are human as well. So I think it helps me in that sense that I'm able to be human, but it's hard to like you're saying that we put people on a pedestal, but at the end of the day, they're also human beings as well. They go through situations.
I like this idea this morning that we spoke about being real, being authentic when we want to help people, even in our shortcoming, in our brokenness. With me, with many years of experience of counseling and coaching, it's my brokenness that actually gives me the necessary accreditation. So I can relate to you what you are saying here today.
Yeah.
It's not my perfect, blameless background that authenticates me or my academic qualifications.
Yeah.
It's a failure, it's a setback, it's a suffering, the lessons that we learn.
Yeah.
And speaking of the human side, I would like you to share with our listeners, what was the turning point in your life when you said, I can't do it anymore, I'm not coping? And it was like a turning point in your life that said, now I would like to improve my life, I would like to transition to the other side. It was a turning point in your life, like this is the mark. Like you draw a line and say, this is it. If I'm not going to draw this line, I'm not going to make it. Because that's a problem with mental health. And when you drew that line, it was actually that day when you made the decision in 2020, I want to become a life coach. What was the turning point?
I think the turning point, I think it's two things. What I went through during, even after being discharged, right? I went back home, fine, I was a bit better, but it's almost as if I got not worse, but it was just too much. It was still too much. And then remember we stayed there for 21 days, I think, if I remember correctly. And then when I got home, I just, there was a day, I remember that day, and it had everything to do with my daughter. That day, that night, I was so sure that the following day, my plan was, I need to commit suicide, like I need to. But the thing is, I always knew that I have a bigger purpose, and my purpose was to help and make the world a better place. And that morning I woke up and I went to my mom, I asked my mom to pray for me because of what was going through my mind. And then once she was done, I went to my room, and then when I got to my room, my daughter was awake. And then she was crying, and I asked her why. And she said, I have a dream of you leaving me. So that really broke my heart, and I felt like my daughter can sense this. She can really sense when I'm drifting away, maybe spiritually. She can feel it. And a few days after that, my mom prayed for me because I was so weak, I couldn't. Few days, something came to my mind that every morning I wake up, I do praise and worship. It just came up. I would do praise and worship, then I would write down as I'm listening to worship songs. I would write everything that I'm feeling. I would talk to God through writing. Sometimes when I'm praying, I struggle with the words to come out, but when I'm writing, a lot would come out. I would write, and that became a daily thing. I started to feel better, and that's when I started to say, I'm definitely going to do this life coaching thing. I cannot leave my daughter, and I know for sure that everything that I'm going through is to put me in a place where I'm able to relate to the people that I'm supposed to be helping. So that was definitely a moment for me. And at the time, I was dismissed, so I was unemployed as well. So it was a lot.
Now you were experiencing a lot of things happening simultaneously, likewise with your mental health, but also losing your job. But something very powerful, two things that you mentioned: the support that you have, especially from your mum, who prayed for you, the realization that I want to also get better for the sake of my daughter. There's a vision, there's a reason for why I want to do it.
And I forgot to mention something. During that time, it was that, and the other main thing, I had just lost my closest friend, and I was in her presence when she passed away. I was literally holding her hand. It's my daughter's aunt from her dad's side, and that really put me in a bad place because she was literally my soulmate. When you say that soulmate is not always your partner, romantic partner, but she was my soulmate, and I knew the things that she was going through. And I remember when I was visiting her in hospital, she said, this one is my psychologist. Every time we would talk, and she always confided in me and I confided in her, but she always said, oh God, like, you are my psychologist. And she said that even when she was on her deathbed. So that was one of the other big things that came to my mind, that I want to help people the way that she felt like I was helping her. So yeah.
Also, what I hear in your story, because we can learn a lot from people's stories, people relate to stories, is how your faith played a powerful role, apart from your mum who prayed for you, but you also started apply praise and worship, music in your own life and worshiping God. And that also played a magnificent role in your life.
A huge role. And what I can take from that moment, and I feel so bad because I'm no longer as regularly as I was in terms of my praise and worship at that time. That was something that would save me every day. It became a routine. I don't know where it came from, but it just came, and I know that's just God who showed me that wake up every morning and do this. And every time I would do that, I would feel better. I mean, I was taking my medication, but I would still feel, and that's when I realized that without God, yes, the medication do their part, but with God, it just becomes a wholesome thing, So when I would do the praise and worship, and just my faith would be so strong at that time, it really helped me to be in a better place. So true, faith did.
Faith plays a powerful role in our journey of recovery and dealing with all our challenges in our lives. But there's something very interesting that you just also mentioned a while ago, 5 minutes ago, that was about writing.
Yes.
And I think that opened a whole new pathway for you in writing down, pouring out your heart. And I would like you to tell the listeners about this journey of writing and how eventually it transpired into something very powerful, namely the journal.
Yeah. So that was, it's literally a gift from God. I'll forever be thankful that it came out of nowhere. It literally said, wake up and write everything. So I realized that when I pray, I would try to pray. I do pray, but when I pray, I find that when I'm done praying, I didn't say everything that I wanted to say to God, and I feel like there's more, And as I was writing, I would realize that I would feel a page, and it would go to the next page. There was so much that I was able to say when I was writing, and after writing, I would feel so relieved, and I would actually feel like I connected with God, and I took out everything. It was a weight lifted off. I took out everything out of my system. So that's what I used to do, and then I started doing seminars. And at my seminars, I would literally take that concept and do it there. So at the beginning of my seminar, what we do is I would play a praise and worship song, just to get people to connect with their spirit, and then I give them pages where they can write, and we start with that, and they would write and write. It cleanses, like it clears up their mind, and then so that's what I was doing. I saw that it worked, and then I partnered with my sister, who's my cousin actually, but more of a sister to me. She was also in the same line of work that I'm doing. But she's professionally, she's doing, so I'm not sure if she would be okay with me mentioning, but she has a 9-to-5 job. But what she's passionate about is the same thing that I'm passionate about, helping people. So we came together and we partnered to create a journal, because she's also passionate about writing. So it just worked out, and you will showcase the journal. This is what we came up with. We came up with a really, really beautiful journal. It's a mind transformation and gratitude journal. But you will link our Instagram page maybe at the end of the. So this is how the journal looks like. So we came up with a journal where you can actually write down and your plan, not really your plans, it's not more of a like a planner. It's a journal to write down what you're grateful for, and to connect with God, your intentions, And I always say intentions are not your to-do list. It's more of how you're going to go about your day, how you're going to respond to situations, So yeah, we came up with this, and how to get closer to your vision, So and there's more that is coming from me, and it also has everything to do with writing. But this one is going to be really more personal and more of how writing has helped me and how I believe it will help other people. So yeah.
From your own experience of writing, the journal start to transpire. That's amazing.
It is.
And now it's impacting other people's lives as well.
Exactly.
You mentioned that you have also had workshops and seminars so far. Tell me more about those seminars.
And it's so crazy that I was doing this still, fighting this illness, and what's crazy is now you ask me how about it, but you never sit and actually say, wow, I did that, even despite all these challenges, I actually did host a seminar, I actually did talk to people, and they gave beautiful feedback. But I guess this is the moment for me to actually think about it, So I hosted the seminars, and the first one, I first started with, I used to do Zoom sessions on Sundays, and it was about set yourself in motion. That was the title. So it was more of, start where you are with whatever that you have. Just set yourself in motion, do something, That was, and I think I should bring that back. It's so exciting, to talk about that. So it was about that, like whatever thing that you have, you don't need to wait till it's perfect. You don't need to, even with mental illness, even in that, because when I'm going through those episodes, I always tell myself that even if I just sit and feel it, but I know that I'm gonna be okay. I just let this happen and I let it take over whatever it is that I'm feeling. But I know I'm going to be okay, and I hold on to that. So it was more of that, like, just keep going. Start with whatever you have. If it means just crawling towards opening the door, do that. Even if it means writing one sentence, if you want to write a book or whatever, do it. And then from there, I moved on to my first workshop was a vision board event. So I did a vision board event. I loved it so much. I think I had about 20 ladies, I think. And they loved it so much. And from then I started with seminars, and I called them Who's Are You seminars. And it was more, and it stems from my encounter when I started writing, when I was going through a lot, and something came over me and said, write and talk to God through writing. So the Who's Are You was from that the moment you know whose you are and where you come from, you'll understand that there's a bigger plan and there's a bigger purpose, and you do have the strength that you think you might not have. So, yeah.
I like this idea of how it's been growing and escalating like a snowball.
Yes.
It started small, own struggles, and then it just became more and more, and it's still happening.
Exactly. And it's like the dots, everything that's been happening in my life is like they all lead up to this path of coaching and of what I'm actually, believe it's my purpose of helping people.
You mentioned something very interesting now. Whose are you? Yeah. And this who, it's like I get the impression it's almost like a movement that has been created.
Yeah.
Tell me more about whose are you, and not who are you, but whose are you. The first time when I heard it, I was thinking, isn't it perhaps incorrect? And I realized, no, there's something much deeper into this whole movement of whose are you.
100%. Even when I came up with it, I was like, people are going to think, supposed to be who are you or something, but it was just so strong in me because I was watching Miles Monroe's sermon, right, and he was talking about when you create something, the only person who knows what that thing is created for is its creator. So if you know whose you are, then you will understand who you are. So it starts with knowing who you are and knowing what you were intended to do on this earth, why you were created, So for me, that movement was for that, it's for that, to say, you need to know why you were created, and for you to know that you have to connect with your source, you need to understand your purpose. There is no way you were created to suffer or to just fail in life, So it's first knowing who you are, therefore you will know who you are and you will understand the weight and the authority that you carry. So it is definitely a movement, and it's what also keeps me going, because on my own, just knowing who I am, it's just not enough, But if I know that I was created by something that loves me so much, or someone that loves me so much, there must be something bigger. So that's what it's about.
So it's more than just who I am. It's about where I originate from.
Yes.
From the source, capital letter. From this being, from God, as we call God Father. The source of the universe that sustains everything, 100%. That's been there forever and will be there forever. We originate from this source, from this God, this source, this Father, where we come from. In other words, if I understand correctly, it's got to do with a sense of belonging. where I come from.
Definitely. 100%.
Where I come from and to whom I belong. From where you and I originate from.
Exactly.
I'm very impressed here today because most people, when they work on these type of seminars and webinars, it's about who are you?
Yeah.
Who you are, but let's take one step backwards and let's start with the source.
Exactly.
Where you originate from. I hear that there's an upcoming webinar and we would like to make our listeners aware of this upcoming webinar.
Yeah.
I believe it's on the 7th of July.
7th of July. It will be on a Sunday. It's a Sunday. And it's online, so you watch it at the comfort of your own home. It's for free. So, it's going to be very insightful. Again, it's based on the Who's Are You concept. So there will be more on that. And do you want me to tell them more about
Please,
it?
share with us more.
It will be the second annual Who's Are You seminar, but in this case, it's in a form of online, so it's a webinar. And again, I partnered with my sister, so we're doing it together under our company, Igemele Foundation. And so we have you as one of our amazing speakers for obvious reasons. And we also have another speaker, it's Pumulo, and I mean you'll show the poster. I'll send you the poster, you'll show it there. It's Pumulo and Mamu Haungosi, they're both authors, and they are amazing. You just need to be there to tune in. I will also send out a link as well. And so we're going to be talking more on that, understanding, just developing characteristics of a person who knows whose they are. And I mean, if you know who you are, then you will walk in authority. You will be able to tap into a better version of yourself. You will understand how your past experiences don't need to take over your entire life. So it's just that and so much more. So I feel people will benefit a lot from tuning in.
So this will happen on Sunday, the 7th of July.
Yeah.
Between 6 and 8 o'clock.
Yes, between 6 and 8 o'clock in the evening.
And we're going to do it on Microsoft Teams.
Yes, on Microsoft Teams.
And I will make sure that the link, I think you already sent me the link.
Yes. Yeah, I think I sent you the link, but I'll just double check.
You'll double check and we will make our listeners aware of this link that they can just join and contact you. I would like to ask you, what ways through this broadcast today can I help or I serve to help you to snowball even further?
Well, so first of all, this on its own, I think it did a lot for me in terms of my business and just getting my story to help whoever is listening and might need to hear my story, you know. And I think another way is, I don't know, am I getting a mind freeze?
Well, this is your opportunity. Imagine as this show today will be broadcast on YouTube. It has the potential to reach unlimited people. And many people can even watch this show, perhaps even after the 7th of July, because the message that you are sharing today goes even beyond the 7th of July.
Yeah.
So we're just putting it in, we're just throwing it in and telling people it's happening, it's coming, and then more will be coming, and we want to invite our people to subscribe to this channel, because my dream is to really link with people like you. We're networking together, putting resources together and empowering people who think likewise.
Yes. So I would say definitely I would leave my contact details for my upcoming seminars with the Gemele Foundation, and I will leave my Instagram page for my personal one as well as for our company. But definitely, if you want to work with me or any session with me, my contact details, I will leave them here and you will show that. But one thing that I want people to that they can look forward to, like I said, there's something that I'm working on that is definitely coming up. It's more of, I can just give a little bit of a teaser. It's more of like therapy in a book, you know, like just our mind carries so many things in it, you know, and you end up feeling sometimes, yes, I do have episodes, but sometimes it's just a matter of there's just so much in my brain, there's just so much in my mind. So I just need to take out this messed up puzzle and put it on a paper and actually look what's going on, you know, and piece them together correctly and see what's important and what's not. So it's more of that. It's going to be very interactive. But in a book, it's just a simple book where you can just gather your thoughts properly, you know. And yeah, but I will leave my contact details. And oh yeah, I also have a YouTube, I started my YouTube video, YouTube channel, by the way.
What's the name of your YouTube?
It's Reinvented Onka.
Reinvented Onka.
And again, that's where the name came from, when I was just going through everything, even in 2019 when I got out of double stream. That's when I came up with that name, Reinvented, because I just wanted to reinvent my life and also to say every day you can reinvent yourself. You know, it's not just about you tried and then that's it. Every day you keep trying to be better and to reach for that vision of yourself that you know is wholesome. So yeah, it's Reinvented Wonka, but I will deal with all.
And I will want to invite our listeners also to connect with you, especially if they would like to order one of these journals. How can they get hold of the journal?
So, to order the journal, again, you contact me or you DM us on our Instagram, which is at igemele.foundation. I believe you will put that up there. Also, you can just contact WhatsApp me. The journal retails for 350 each, and delivery is via PEP. So it's 60 Rand for 7 to 9 working days, and it's 100 Rand if you want it sooner, which is 3 to 5 working days. But yeah, that's how you get hold of the journal. It's amazing, and there's also a link on my YouTube where I explain how to use the journal. Because sometimes, yes, you buy this thing and you think, oh, it's just a journal, but when we created it, we know that there's a bigger intention with it, and there's a certain benefit that you can get, and only if we explain it to you, then you will know, you know. So there is I think maybe I'll send you the link so they can maybe watch it, and so they can get the full benefits of using the journal.
This channel that I've started very recently has got the vision, exactly what you just said now about reinventing Onka. I'm very intrigued by people who were able to reinvent themselves, change, transition. And this is one of my seminar topics that I love to talk about myself, to help people with the ingredients to reinvent themselves. Because we've got an amazing brain that God gave us. The programming carries on and on.
Yeah.
And we can change it. We can change it. I would like to ask you, Onkabetse, tell us, what were some of the elements in your life that you applied for reinventing your life?
So, I think not I need to stop saying that because I know. I know because I was experiencing this. I think when you realize what your purpose is, just knowing what your purpose is, and I think if you go through problems or tribulations in your life and you don't look at them in a way to ask yourself, why was this happening? Because with me, I looked at them and asked myself, like, why did this happen? Initially, it was more of, why are all these hard things happening to me? But I started to realize, to ask, like, what am I getting from this? And that's when I realized that this is part of me living out my purpose. So as soon as I understood what my purpose is and I aligned myself with people who are in the same path of where I'm meant to be, that's when I realized that I managed to reinvent myself and no longer be that Onkabetse. But that Onkabetse she didn't know what her purpose was. But now with me knowing what my purpose is, I constantly want to become better and I constantly want to be every day it's like I want to elevate. And the other thing, Jath, that I want to mention is that it's not easy. As much as I can sit here and say reinvented Onka, and it's hard. Every day it's hard. It's not going to be easy, and that's one of the elements that I realized, that it's not going to be easy, and I need to be okay with that. And another thing was, and something that I realized recently, is that people around you will have their own time frame of how they expect you to reach a certain level or how to operate, but you know what you are going through, you know what your journey is, and you know what your purpose is, and you know what you deal with on a daily. And I'm not talking about someone who's just going to sit there and say, no, I'm going through this, and they're not trying. I'm talking about for someone who's actually trying. Don't let people's their perception of how they expect you to reach a certain level get to you. Just create a little world of your own and function from that. And then as long as you know you are doing your part and you are being kind to yourself and you are being kind to other people as well, but you know in your world you are doing the best that you can. So with me, that's what it is when it comes to reinventing myself, just knowing my purpose and trying to make sure that I'm always in alliance with people who are helping me get to that journey. I mean, that's why I contacted you, and honestly I think everyone who attended your sessions, they would have contacted you, just like I have to say you are so amazing at what you do. You really, really are. Because I also have someone who was with me at the hospital, and when they saw your picture on the post, oh my gosh, Jath! I'm like, yes! It's like, oh my god, I love Jath so much. So I know everyone who attended your sessions, they just benefited so much and you changed their lives. So I'm saying this to say, just keep in contact or is in contact with people that you know that they remind you of what your purpose is. And I think those are the people who will understand where you're going, and it makes the journey a bit easy, And just always having a vision, hence the vision board events I was doing. So just having a vision, it keeps you aligned with where you're supposed to go. Don't let this distract you, because here is your vision. So that's how I reinvent myself.
Purpose and people.
And people.
These are the two elements in your life that gave you the third P, power. Connecting with the right people, like-minded people who add value to your life, people that are positive, people who are eager to learn, people that are supportive, like-minded people.
Exactly.
On this journey of living your purposeful life. I'm so happy to hear about the amazing transition transformation, the leap that you've made from where you were and where you are today.
Yeah.
Now I want you to think in one of our final questions that I have today in this broadcast is, if you think back where you are now, today, and you look back at your 20-year-old self, what advice will you give to Onkabetse Gomba, 20 years old? She's sitting there and she's listening. What advice would you give to her? She's eager to listen and hear what you want to say.
That is so emotional, but beautiful in a sense that I get to think of myself in that sense. At that age, I would say it's going to be challenging, that's for sure. But the main thing I would say to a 20-year-old me is work on your self-awareness. I think self-awareness is so important. When I think back at that age, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know who I am, or even in the decisions that I took, I wasn't self-aware. I was functioning outside of myself. You know, when I think back, and I actually always think about it, you know, so I would say working on your self-awareness is very, very important. Just connecting with yourself, because I think I've walked through my 20s not connecting with myself. It was almost as if it's an outside of body experience, you know, if I recall back to how my life was. But it's so important to be self-aware and always be conscious of, I'm here now, this is what I'm doing, and what is Onka feeling about this. And I would also say, yeah, Jath, I think that's that. And just love. I think love is very powerful. Love, where you are able to help, where you're able, because I don't think I was a people pleaser, but I don't think I loved in a way that love is supposed to be in a way, you know. I think love in a way that it doesn't enable people, but it rather helps them to be in a better place. So that's what I would say to myself. Self-awareness more than anything, and love in a healthy way.
Love from a healthy position.
Yeah.
When we are healed and we give love from that position, it's good. But when there's a brokenness inside of us, we want others many times to validate, to patch us. We want others to feel pleased by what we are doing, but then it's not really from a position of love, it's from a position of pain and fear.
And fear and hurt and abandonment, so many things.
Yes, and this is the wisdom today that you are giving to that 20-year-old. Self-awareness, absolutely connected to yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself totally.
Yeah.
And from that position, we can make the world around us a better place.
100%. And can I just add, because I know growing up I would hear these terms, self-awareness, you need to love yourself, but a lot of times we don't get to hear people tell you how to actually do it. So speaking on self-awareness, I would say get a journal, definitely. Get a journal. If you don't have a journal, like I said, I was writing a lot, write, so you can actually see on paper how you think. And one of the main things that I was so passionate about when it comes to our journal is the reflection part. Reflection is such a big thing for me, and it helps you with self-awareness because you get to write down how you behave, your patterns on a daily, and when you go back and look, you'll be able to say, okay, no, this is how I've been responding to this and this. I struggle to give compliments to people. Why? I saw such a good thing yesterday, but I couldn't compliment someone. Or I get angry when this person, you get to see your triggers and you get to see, okay, I need to work on this and I need to keep up with this. So when I say self-awareness, write down your patterns, write down how your day went, and not your typical dear diary, but really, really go in and be honest with yourself. If you're a mean person on that, they say it, I was really mean. If you had a task that you were supposed to do at work and you say, I didn't do it because I feel like it's not my company, say that I did that. So you'll really pick up. And sometimes, just what happens in life is that years later you go through something, but because you are not doing the reflection, you don't see how this is happening in your life. But if you trace back, you see this is where I went wrong. So that's why it's so important to reflect on your days every day. So yeah.
I want to honor you today. I thank you for coming into the studio.
Yeah.
And may what we've spoke about today just get stronger and stronger in your life.
Thank you so much, Jath. Thank you for just being there since 2019 and understanding and being so patient with my vision. And when I come to you, this is what I want to do, and you listen and you give advice and you help where you can. So thank you so much. And I also pray that what you are doing goes bigger and bigger and touches the world. This is a beautiful thing. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.